past continuous. The past continuous tense is used to describe actions that were happening at a specific moment in the past. It emphasizes the ongoing nature of an activity that was in progress at a certain time but may or may not have been completed. Situations to use the past continuous. Ongoing actions in the past use past continuous to describe something that was happening at a particular time in the past. Example: at 8 p.m. I was watching a movie. Interrupted actions to show that a past action was interrupted by another event, often used with the past simple. Example: I was reading when the phone rang. Parallel actions when two or more actions were happening at the same time in the past. Example: she was cooking while he was cleaning. Descriptive background in stories to set the scene or describe the background of a story. Example: it was raining and people were rushing home. Repeated actions in the past for actions that were repeated or habitual, often with words like always or constantly. Example: he was always complaining about the noise. I was working on my project all evening. They were playing soccer in the park. She was reading a book when I arrived. We were watching TV at 8 p.m. He was driving to work when the accident happened. They were eating dinner when I called. I was listening to music while studying. She was cooking dinner when the doorbell rang. We were waiting for the bus in the rain. He was jogging in the park this morning. I was sleeping when you texted me. They were painting the house last weekend. She was preparing for her presentation. We were walking along the beach at sunset. He was fixing his bike when I saw him. I was sleeping when you texted me. They were painting the house last weekend. She was preparing for her presentation. We were walking along the beach at sunset. He was fixing his bike when I saw him. They were practicing for the match yesterday. I was talking to my friend when it started to rain. She was learning French last year. We were having dinner when the power went out. He was writing his essay all afternoon. I was doing my homework when she called. They were laughing at the joke when the teacher entered. She was playing the piano when I arrived. We were packing our bags when the taxi arrived. He was drinking coffee while reading the newspaper. I was trying to fix the computer all morning. They were discussing the project during the meeting. She was teaching English last summer. We were walking home when it started to snow. He was studying for his exam last night. I was watching a movie when the phone rang. They were working late at the office. She was cleaning the house all day. We were waiting for the train for hours. He was repairing the car when I arrived. I was listening to the radio when the news broke. They were building the new school last year. She was decorating her room when I saw her. We were hiking in the mountains last weekend. He was talking to his boss when I arrived. I was washing the dishes when you called. They were driving home when the storm hit. She was shopping at the mall yesterday. We were studying for our exams last night. He was playing video games when his mom called him. I was eating lunch when my phone rang. They were practicing for the concert all afternoon. She was waiting for the bus when I saw her. We were painting the walls last Sunday. He was fixing the roof when it started raining. I was walking my dog when you texted. They were celebrating their anniversary last night. She was organizing her files all morning. We were watching a movie when the lights went out. He was preparing dinner when I arrived. I was sleeping while they were talking. They were exercising at the gym yesterday. She was teaching her class when the fire alarm rang. We were baking a cake when you came over. He was mowing the lawn when it started raining. I was learning to drive last summer. They were waiting at the station when the train arrived. She was ironing clothes while watching TV. We were cleaning the house when it started to rain. He was playing guitar when I walked in. I was reading when you knocked on the door. They were playing basketball in the park. She was studying hard for the final exam. We were relaxing by the pool in the afternoon. He was cooking dinner when his phone rang. I was writing an email when the power went out. They were chatting on the phone all evening. She was practicing piano when I called her. We were waiting for the doctor when he walked in. He was looking for his wallet all morning. I was enjoying my meal when the fire alarm rang. They were working on the project together. She was dancing at the party last night. We were discussing the issue when the manager arrived. He was reading a book when I saw him. I was listening to a podcast on my way home. They were working in the garden when it started raining. She was preparing for her interview yesterday. We were sitting in the cafe when it started to snow. He was running in the marathon last week. What were you doing when I called you? I was reading a book. Were they studying when you saw them? No, they were playing video games. Was she working on her project yesterday? Yes, she was working on it all day. Why were you running so fast this morning? I was trying to catch the bus. What were you doing during the meeting? I was taking notes. Were you talking to the manager when I saw you? Yes, I was discussing the new project. Was it raining when you left the office? Yes, it was pouring heavily. Were you listening to music when I arrived? No, I was watching a movie. What were they doing at the party last night? They were dancing and having fun. Was she teaching the class when you entered? Yes, she was explaining a new topic. Why were they arguing when I saw them? They were trying to solve a problem. Were you cooking dinner when the guests arrived? Yes, I was preparing a special dish. What was John doing when you visited him? He was working on his car. Were you walking the dog when I passed by? Yes, I was taking him for a walk. What were they building in the backyard? They were setting up a new shed. Was she sleeping when you called her? Yes, she was resting after a long day. Were you shopping when the store closed? Yes, I was looking for some clothes. What were they discussing during the meeting? They were planning the next event. Was it snowing when you left the house? No, it was raining lightly. What were you doing on your vacation? We were hiking and exploring the mountains. Were they waiting for you outside the cafe? Yes, they were waiting for almost an hour. What were you doing when the power went out? I was studying for my exam. Was he practicing his speech when you arrived? Yes, he was rehearsing in front of the mirror. What were you doing at the beach yesterday? I was sunbathing and reading a book. Were you driving when the accident happened? Yes, I was on my way to work. What were they doing in the library? They were studying for their finals. Were you waiting for me outside? Yes, I was standing by the entrance. What was he doing with all those tools? He was fixing the broken chair. Were you eating dinner when I called? No, I was preparing the meal. What were they saying about the new policy? They were discussing its potential impact. Were you exercising at the gym this morning? Yes, I was doing cardio. What was she doing in the kitchen? She was baking a cake for the party. Were you working late last night? Yes, I was finishing up a project. What were they doing when the alarm went off? They were packing up their things to leave. Was he sleeping when you knocked on the door? No, he was watching TV. What were you doing in the morning? I was cleaning the house and doing laundry. Were they practicing for the concert yesterday? Yes, they were rehearsing all day. What were you thinking about when I saw you? I was thinking about the upcoming meeting. Were you painting the room when I visited? Yes, I was giving it a fresh coat of paint. What were you doing when you lost your keys? I was running to catch the bus. Were they waiting for the taxi when you arrived? Yes, they were standing outside the building. What were you doing on your trip? We were exploring the city and trying new foods. Were you listening to the radio this morning? Yes, I was listening to the news. What was she doing with all those papers? She was organizing her documents. Were they swimming in the pool when you arrived? Yes, they were enjoying the water. What were you doing when you heard the announcement? I was shopping in the store. Don't forget to subscribe to Tet Ongbo YouTube channel.